Hello and welcome. My name is Patrick Prothy, and I'm the Director of Marketing, and I am very happy you could join us today to hear the latest news from Audinate. Much of what we'll discuss centers around the increasing importance of networked video and software to your readers, to our OEMs and end users, and to the broader community of AV professionals everywhere. Over the past few years, we have been working hard with our community of end users and OEMs to replicate the success of audio with video. And when we talk about networked video, it's really about audio and video together, along with the control and management tools that Dante provides. The reality is that for the vast majority of customers, audio and video are very much intertwined. When we look at our overall AV strategy, there are 4 pillars. For most markets, the demanding performance requirements from our customers and the end users requires hardware acceleration, which is why we led with the Dante AV hardware module as our first combined audio and video product. It's also why we recently acquired the Video over IP division of Silex Insight, adding to our suite of networked video tools and resources. Just as important as the hardware side of things is software. Almost all end-to-end AV workflows today have software playing a critical role, whether that's integrating into UC applications, lecture capture systems, video streaming and mixing software, and more. Lastly, it's critical that all of these components are seamlessly controlled and managed by an easy-to-use, ubiquitous, manufacturer-agnostic platform, both on-premise and via the cloud as workflows become more distributed and remote. So let's jump into each of these areas to hear about the exciting things we've been up to make this vision a reality for the AV industry. Over to you, Max.
Hi, I'm Max Kopcho, Vice President of Video Sales at Audinate. Back in 2019, many of you joined us as we launched Dante AV at the Integrated Systems Europe show in Amsterdam. This is where we showed the chips and modules that would deliver on the Dante AV promise. And last year, you joined us again, where we shared a virtual stage with Patton and Bolin, and we introduced the first commercially available Dante AV hardware products. Today, we are very grateful that you're here with us to hear the progress that we've continued to make with Dante AV. Today, we're happy to report that Bolin is introducing a standalone Dante AV encoder-decoder with a 12G SDI output. There are currently 14 Dante AV licensees, and the Dante AV ecosystem continues to grow at an incredibly rapid rate. We'd also like to announce that Cypress has become a Dante AV licensee. Cypress is a leading ODM in networked AV products, and this brings a path for our OEMs to quickly bring Dante AV products to market using turnkey designs. Geffen is also a Dante AV licensee, and they will launch a product soon. And we recently completed the acquisition of Silex Insight's Video over IP business unit. And this brings to Audinate a wealth of engineering expertise, hardware design, and codecs to the Audinate overall video over IP strategy. Lastly, we'd like to share with you that many Dante AV end users have got their hands on Dante AV products, deploying them in a wealth of different applications that simplifies their AV deployment. I'd like to show you now a Dante AV implementation at a house of worship in Madison, Wisconsin.
My focus and goal is to try to eliminate distractions. And I see this as a very helpful tool in eliminating distractions, having things run seamlessly where you don't even notice it. Audio video is, I think, integral because it could be a distraction if it's not done well.
We were exploring how can we do this better. And as we brought in this new system, the live stream quality is better. So that's been huge for everybody, to just really create an atmosphere where people can worship and receive the message without struggling to see or hear something.
One of the issues we were trying to correct from our prior system was with the live sound and then the recording and live stream mix, we had an issue where we could not have independent gain control in those two locations. So that was one of the things that really got me out there doing my research. Hey, how do we do this? How do we do this? And then one thing that I kept seeing was, I think you need a Dante network to do that, or a Dante system to do that.
The main thing that we use for audio and video is the services here at the church. So the first implementation was Dante Audio. That was a huge jump, and it was, I'll be very honest, very satisfying snipping all of the wiring ends behind the patch bays.
Video came when we were talking more about flexibility and scaling. So I was looking at existing audio or video over IP options and was actually pursuing those. And then I just saw an article saying that Dante AV was being announced, and that patent had been announced as the creator of their first actual product to market, and really felt that it was important, because we are so volunteer-based, to go with one unified system.
Having a structure that's easy to understand and easy to use is crucial. Volunteers quite often are coming in because they just want to help the church. This system provides a way for them to feel at ease, but also continue to learn things they've never learned before.
One of the things we wanted to really do with this was create flexibility. We now have the infrastructure to send any audio signal from any point in our campus to anywhere else in our campus.
Video is sent to the projectors for the congregation to see the lyrics and some graphics. There's a stage monitor so the musicians can see the lyrics while they're up there. And then the live stream, of course, needs a video as well.
We have patent encoders on all of our cameras, on the graphic and lyric output of our ProPresenter software. We also have patent encoders on our live stream output for video and graphics. We use patent decoders or receivers at our projectors for our sanctuary. We use them at our ATEM system and our video production studio for our live stream. And we're also adding them at multiple screens throughout our facility so that we can put content, either live or graphics or whatever, pretty much at any point or any place in the building that we want at any time.
The flexibility and the ease of use is awesome. From day one, it just improved maneuverability, and the connection with low latency, it was just so easy to use, and it worked really well.
There's just a general buy-in from the congregation that we are concerned about making sure that we're staying on top of technology, because it makes us relevant to not only the people we're trying to reach, but people within our congregation, young people, and people who look at church differently than perhaps the traditional church where there was no video as a part of the service. And so I think that advantage of feeling not just relevant to the outside world, but relevant to your congregation, knowing that you are always caring and looking for new ways to share Jesus with people.
I hope you found it interesting to see a new installation of Dante AV hardware. Today we're excited to also announce the availability of our new Dante AV software, Dante Studio. I'm Wim Roos, Product Manager for Dante AV, and I'd like to tell you more about our Dante AV software offering, Dante Studio. Dante Studio includes software applications that integrate with hardware devices to enhance your system's capabilities, extend the functionality of software applications, and provide system designers, integrators, and end users a completely networked AV workflow. The tools of Dante Studio improve collaboration by eliminating the friction that inhibits creativity and bogs down workflows, all while advancing system security and management. The first feature of Dante Studio is Dante Video RX. Dante Video RX enables Dante Studio to receive video streams coming from the network directly into a computer, so that the video content can be inserted into conferencing, education, live streaming and production applications. All in all, Dante Studio and its features such as Dante Video RX extend and improve AV workflows by offering interoperability between software applications and Dante AV enabled hardware, providing more versatile solutions to our AV industry. Dante Studio fits into Dante-based environments operating on standard 1 gigabit Ethernet infrastructures, supports system and timing synchronization, Works in combination with Dante Virtual Sound Card for audio. Allows separate routing of audio and video essences. Works with Dante AV enabled systems for low latency HD and 4K video using a broadcast quality JPEG 2000 codec. And runs on standard Windows computers using an NVIDIA GPU. With Dante Studio, your software applications can further integrate into Dante environments using Dante Controller to configure and patch signals on the network. On top of that, there is support for Dante Domain Manager, our server-based platform which unifies remote IT control and management within Dante ecosystems. In other words, Dante Studio advantages are: for hardware developers, the ability to integrate their own hardware devices into software applications, enabling more versatile deployment opportunities. For software developers, applications can now be used directly within Dante AV ecosystems, providing more complete solutions. For integrators, Dante Studio simplifies and extends the AV design possibilities by combining hardware and software solutions. And for end users, the ability to use high-quality video coming from Dante-enabled sources into your video conferencing applications, distant learning environments, and media production workflows with maximum quality and ultra-low latency. Later this year, Dante Studio will also offer the license for Dante Video TX, which captures the content of a PC screen and sends it out onto the network as a Dante video stream. Imagine using this to capture the output of an application such as OBS or vMix and directly create a video source from your PC. Further down the line, Dante Video Viewer will also be available as a license for Dante Studio. Dante Video Viewer will allow you to monitor multiple Dante video sources in a dedicated window or full screen mode. Now over to you, Brad.
Thanks, Wim. I'm Brad Price, the Senior Product Marketing Manager for Audinate. One of the key reasons that Dante leads the industry in AV over IP is the powerful and consistent control and management that Dante provides across multiple vendors. No matter what brands customers choose, Dante Controller and Dante Domain Manager provide a unified toolset to deploy, configure, and manage AV networks of nearly any size and scope. Dante Controller is a free Windows and Mac PC application that allows users to configure Dante-enabled devices and to route audio, video, and control data anywhere on the network. Dante Controller provides a familiar, easy-to-use control surface that is embraced by countless professionals around the world. Dante Domain Manager is a server-based toolset for AV and IT managers, delivering key features such as system, clock, and device monitoring, management of routed networks, secure user authentication, and interoperability with SMPTE devices for broadcasters. Dante Domain Manager allows Dante systems to expand beyond local networks for demanding installations and applications. Today, we're pleased to announce that in addition to audio, the upcoming version of Dante Domain Manager supports Dante Video as well. Soon, all Dante-enabled devices, both audio and video, will be able to be monitored and managed in one place for extended multi-supplier interoperability. An outstanding example of how Dante Domain Manager can expand possibilities in networked AV was demonstrated in 2021 when Audinate worked with Peltrix and the Blue Note Jazz Group to stage real-time performances with synchronized audio and video across 3 American cities spaced hundreds of miles apart. Dante Domain Manager was used to coordinate clock domains and custom latency values, making the system transparent to players and viewers alike. Audinate sees the use of both private networks and the public internet as important components in the future of AV, and we're working with some lead customers on leveraging Dante across the cloud to manage their systems. And now, let's move back to Patrick.
As I hope you can see, the team here at Audinate is working extremely hard on a number of fronts to ensure that our OEM partners have the capabilities to serve integrators and end users with powerful, interoperable network devices. The Audinate community has been growing, adapting, and transforming from the very beginning. And the strength of this progress manifests itself in the comprehensive array of industry-leading AV network solutions that we now offer. I'm confident that the innovations and insights that we shared with you today will lay the groundwork for our continued success in helping advance the AV industry. I'd now like to invite you to ask us any questions you may have, and thanks so much for joining us. All right, thanks again, everybody. I am you're joined here by Josh Rush, our CMO, and Brad Price, and we also have Gus and Wim Roos with us. So again, please drop your questions into the chat. And to kick it off, we have our first question is, when will Dante Studio be available and how much will it cost? How about I kick that over to you, Wim?
Yeah, sure, I can answer that one. Thanks, Patrick. So it's available now as a time-limited free trial because we want to give customers ample time to play with it and understand how to integrate Dante Studio into their workflows and also give us feedback on the software and what they think of it. At the end of the trial, Dante Studio and the features will be available as a subscription, and the pricing and the packages available are still TBD at this time.
All right, thanks, Wim. The next question I have is, what is the timing for Dante AV support in Dante Domain Manager? And how about I'll kick that over to you, Brad.
Sure. Thanks, Patrick. Well, we are actively working on Dante Domain Manager as we speak, and we're going to be demoing that at some upcoming trade shows and with some early select customers showing Dante Domain Manager with Dante video functionality. And our plan is to make that commercially available by this summer. So that's where that's at on Dante Domain Manager. We're looking forward to seeing the entire unified package come together.
Awesome. Thanks, Brad. Let's see. Next question that we have is, are you able to speak about any of the other 14 Dante licensees? And how about I give that to you, Josh?
Yeah, happy to take that one. So yeah, typically what we see with our licensees is they like to reveal themselves as they get closer to launching products. So in addition to the ones we talked about today, so you heard about Bolin, Patton, Geffen, and Cypress Technologies. Two other ones that have been public in the past are Yamaha and ED Techno. So 6 of the 14 are public, and I would expect the remaining ones to announce as they get closer to releasing their products. But rest assured, we have some of the biggest names in the AV industry that are waiting in the wings. So we're excited to announce those when they get closer.
Great. Thanks, Josh. And sounds like this one will probably be a good one for you as well. How has the pandemic prompted you to adjust your video strategy?
That's a good one. I wouldn't say adjust our strategy necessarily, but we certainly have accelerated parts of it. So a good example of that is the trend towards remote production. So I think when the pandemic hit, broadcast workflows were kind of blown up because you couldn't have a whole production crew on site. And we, as you heard with the Peltrex example, we had several customers that pulled us in to really push the boundaries of what could be done with Dante over distance. And so that whole, I would say, distributed workflow, Dante over distance, remote production theme definitely accelerated on our roadmap. And we're working with several lead customers to help put that distributed workflow in place.
Great. And we just have a question in from Dan Jago. How long has the Cambridge, UK location been open? Probably good for you, Josh.
Actually, I would probably kick that to Wim since he sits in the Cambridge.
Right.
He might have a more specific date.
Sure, yeah, I'm based in the Cambridge office. Yeah, we started working in early 2021 in Cambridge. We had to start remotely for obvious reasons, but we've been office-based on and off since last summer now, working with the team here and developing the Dante software solutions and Dante Studio that I've been talking about today.
Fabulous. And Dan asked a follow-up question on, is this the core center for video developments? I can probably answer yes, but maybe you want to elaborate, Wim?
Yeah, so based in Cambridge, a lot of the software developments are being done here in Cambridge, and as was talked about with the acquisition of Silex as well, they are based in Belgium, so that's also close to the Cambridge office. So we've got close collaboration between the Silex hardware team and the software team based in Cambridge.
Great. Thanks, Wim. Mark Pescator has asked, what initially prompted the expansion to Dante Video? And that's probably a good one for you, Josh.
Yeah, I'm happy to take that one. So we had heard from customers for a long time that they wanted networked video to work like Dante audio. And we spent a lot of time figuring out what did they exactly mean by that. And what we found was that they were looking for a simplified interface. So being able to control networked audio and video through the same tools. They wanted it synchronized. And so in many applications, it's not about audio and video as two separate things. They're being integrated together to deliver whatever application customers are looking for. And having that being synchronized between the audio and video streams was a big part of what they were looking for, as opposed to, there's a lot of kind of hand wavy behind the scenes things that happen to make lip sync work. And rather than have to do all of those unnatural things, they wanted it to just be run off the same clock and have things be synchronized. And the other big thing that people were asking for is they liked the flexibility and the routing of having all of the independent channels or streams and being able to send those where they wanted to send it. And so, I think as we dug into it, that was the main thing customers were looking for, and that's what prompted us to initially get into video. I guess I left one thing off that I think is really important as well too, is one of the things that's different about the networked video world versus audio is that at this point, Dante has become essentially the de facto standard on the networked audio side. But in the video world, there are a lot of islands of independent, either manufacturer-specific protocols or islands around certain codecs. And there wasn't a real sense of interoperability. And I think that was the other big thing that customers appreciate with Dante on the audio side that they wanted to see us bring to video, was that inherent interoperability. So regardless of the manufacturer, regardless of the product, if it just said Dante, or in this case, Dante AV on the back, you could plug it in and you knew it was going to work. And ultimately what that does is makes it super simple and reliable for the customer.
Thanks, Josh. And that looks like all the questions we have at this moment. Does anyone else have any questions? If not, we really appreciate your time, and thanks for joining us.